This is episode 139. And before my guest comes on, I'd just like to say a big heartfelt sorry to the family of Jay Briscoe. I know his daughters are in hospital after the tragic accident that happened last week. I never got to see Jay live. Unfortunately, him and his brother Mark, one of the most fantastic tag teams in the modern era, never came to WWE. I know WWE looked at him and they brought a video out at the time. But yeah, just so sad. 38 years of age, man. And just our heartfelt sympathies to the family and just the ROH family and everybody else, Impact, all the different promotions they wrestled for and the fantastic matches they had with the Revival. Obviously, they had like three matches, which culminated in a dog collar match last month. So yeah, just before we go live today, it's just a big RIP to the celebration of life to Jay Briscoe.
Stewie's Wrestling Podcast is the hottest thing going in 2020. It's going to be the hottest thing going in 2021. And if you miss out on riding this train, guess what? You're not a fan of pro wrestling, and you're not a fan of anything that's hot, because this is a hot commodity. Check out Stu's Wrestling Podcast.
You're listening to Stu's Wrestling Podcast. It's time. Your host, Stu Palmer.
Well, we are live once again. Our first episode for 2023. Had a bit of a hiatus, put some clips out, put some streams out, some old footage. And the guy waiting in the wings to come on is a local lad to me. He lives just up the road here on the North Wales coast. A guy who was my guest for episode 9 back in 2019. It's none other than Douggie Mathews, just up the road on the coast here in North Wales. Hello, mate. How are we?
Yeah, all good, mate. Yourself?
Brilliant to get you back on, man. It's been such a long time. I know you've done a lot since 2019. There's a lot to cover with your career so far. So, yeah, man, what's been happening in the more recent times?
Yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a long time, man. A lot's happened. I've got a few stories to share. Obviously, the last time I was on before COVID, I was just chipping away as a young lad, really, just trying to get as much as I can, and nothing much has changed in that extent. I'm still a young lad chipping away, trying to get as much as possible. 2022 was a very good year for me. I had some valuable experience that I've cherished and I'm appreciative for. So it was a very good year for me. And it's been a very crazy ride for me the past few years, to be fair. But yeah, it's all going smoothly, all good, man.
We've got to extend off that because obviously last summer you were with World Association of Wrestling with the Knights and you were on the holiday camp circuit. Man, Just your experience of that and getting the opportunity to do that. Like, how many matches did you manage to do over that time?
So it's I'm not too sure how many matches I've done over that time. So I started doing the holiday camps. I think it was the Halloween before. So I think it was about October 2021 I started doing the holiday camps for WAW. And I've not looked back ever since. Every time they've called me up, I've really enjoyed my time. The lads, they're brilliant. The Knights as well, Ricky, Julia, Zach, Roy. They're all lovely people. They've made me feel very welcome whenever I've been on the holiday camps, or I've been up to Norwich just the one time and they've made me feel really welcome. So with the holiday camps, it's usually about an hour show, 3 matches. Obviously, you've got either 2 or 3 faces or 2 or 3 heels, it's either 2 or a 6-man tag team at the end. So you're usually working about 2 matches a day. I think I had about 10 to 12 dates in the summer over the weekends in Prestatyn and Southport. That was I think it was either my second one or my third one. Yuan's on the stage. It was a great lad, Yuan. Very funny. Zach as well, refereeing. It's all good. Yeah, they were very, very good times, and they're experiences that I'd recommend anyone going for, because it's an experience like none other. You have loads of fun, and you can enjoy what you enjoy doing most, and that's professional wrestling. So it was a wild summer. Really enjoyed it. Like I said, the lads were brilliant, and if you've got a good team as well, like that's a good thing. If you've got a good team, if you've got a funny team, it's just even better. So yeah, just wild times this summer, and I want to thank again the World Association of Wrestling and the Knight family for giving me the opportunity. I wrestled Roy. That was incredible. To wrestle one of the most legitimate wrestlers in the UK at the moment, and I'd say one of the best. I hadn't seen much of Roy's work, and then I went over to Norwich for Fightmare 4 when it was him and Zach in the main event, and they absolutely smashed it out of the park. Like, I don't think I've seen a more legitimate match on the independent scene, or potentially in the world of wrestling. It was just superb, very fast paced, very hard hitting, very personal as well. So, and if it's personal, the Knight family, they do that the best out of anyone in the industry.
How was it being on the road, Doug? How was that? Just being on the road. Do you enjoy that? Some guys hate being on the road. Obviously, they've got to make their money. They've got to get the experience and stuff. But how do you find the rigors of the road? You personally, do you enjoy the traveling and that of it?
It's not too bad. I think it just depends who you're with. If you're on your own, obviously it can be a little bit draining because you just want to get there. But if you're on the road with a few lads and you're having a laugh, it's better, isn't it? This summer I've travelled up and down the country with lads like Mr. No Fear, Ry Lloyd, Ginner as well. I've travelled with those guys. Nathan Penfold as well, who's a massive WAW fan. He's very funny. He's great to travel with. Who else? There's a few. All the North Wales Wrestling Dojo lot as well. Guys like Ben Evans, Connor Chaos, Matt Merciless, Levi Brooks, all the guys, Looster the Gooster, all the North Wales Wrestling Dojo lot. I've travelled with them as well. And they're really solid up and coming wrestlers as well. They've got a lot of potential. And just to travel with those lot along the road it's been brilliant. Good laughs, good music as well, good sing-alongs as well. If you don't have a sing-along on the road, you're doing something wrong. Traveling isn't too bad. It gets you, and if you've got a good playlist, it gets you looking forward to what's to come, getting in the ring, doing your shit. And it's been fantastic traveling and looking forward to wrestling again. So it's been all right.
So good, man. Like you say, being under the learning tree of the Knights, just to go back to the Knights, what advice have you had from Roy, Zach, Julia, obviously Ricky Knight Senior? Just anything they've imparted, their wisdom, their years in the business, collectively. Just look at all the years they've been in the business.
Yeah, they're very experienced people, and they are incredible. They know their craft. They're just unbelievable. I think the biggest piece of advice that the Knight family have given me is to have a good attitude more than anything. Hard work beats talent, one of them said. I'm not sure if it was Ricky, Roy, or Zach, but one of them said that hard work beats talent, and that's very good. I agree with that 100%. If you put in the work, you deserve the opportunities. And having a good attitude, helping out with the ring, staying humble as well. That's one of their big things. Staying humble, keeping your head on straight. So just making sure that overall you're being a respectful, humble, helpful man. And I'd like to think that I'm starting to take that to the next level now. I'm making sure that I'm trying to get to shows as early as possible. I was at Wrestle Island the other month for the show that was called, I think don't call it a 2.0. I was out ringside with Ry Lloyd, and I made sure I got there first thing in the morning to help the promoter, because the promoter who was promoting that day, Ray Ketab, he doesn't usually promote, and I think it's important that the guys around you, especially for a guy who's new to the promoting side of things, it's very important to make sure that you lend your hands as much as you can. And I made sure I was there from the first minute, because it shows that you appreciate the opportunity as well. If you get there 1 minute before, the show starts, it's I don't agree with that. You have to make sure, especially if you're at my level. To be fair, a lot of people, I'd say everyone in British wrestling has the same right to be in the ring as each other. And only most people make sure that they appreciate the opportunity and show the appreciation as well, like getting first thing there, helping out as much as you can. And I'm quite decent friends with Ray as well, so I made sure that I was there to help him out and make his job easier at the end of the day, because promoting is a stressful job. It is, and to take a little bit of the weight off the promoter's shoulders is going to make their job easier, and we're both going to enjoy it a little bit more then, aren't we? If the promoter's not stressed, if I'm working hard trying to get everything sorted so I can go out there and wrestle, I'm happy doing that. So yeah,
it's a good ethos, man. Honestly, they know everything, and you putting yourself out there early doors for him as well. Now, it's testament to you, and as you say, it's your reputation as well, isn't it? Then, because you want to wrestle in as many places as you possibly can, don't you?
Of course, yeah, and it is good to do that, to have that reputation as you're a guy who can help out a lot. But I don't really think about it in that way. I think about it more of a, right, okay, I need to help these guys out so their day's easier, because they're booking you on their show. Lend your hands, make their day easier, because they don't have to book you. They don't have to invest in you as a performer when there are hundreds of thousands of people in this country who want to do this. They could just easily go and grab a guy for the same price who's willing to travel a little bit further. So you have to make sure that if they are booking you, you have to cut their slack a little bit.
How about Britannia? Obviously, it's local to us. You've wrestled, from a very young age with them. You came through the dojo as well. So how's Britannia been? Obviously, I've not had you guys on, and I feel bad about that. So yeah, just catching up with what's going on with Britannia. There's a show this weekend, isn't there?
There is. So it's the Rumble show. BWP Royally Rumbled in Denby Town Hall on Saturday, the 28th of January. I will be competing in the BWP Royally Rumbled match, and I am hoping that I can get the win. But more importantly, I'm there and I'm going to enjoy myself. And you guys should too. Tickets, they're buy one, get one free. I believe tickets are available on Ringside World, and you can show up on the day to Denby Town Hall and get them there 2 for 1 as well. The card's looking fantastic. We've got Ryloid versus Martin Kirby. I'm really looking forward to that match. 2 really solid fundamental wrestlers. And, saying that, Martin Kirby is on another level, but Ryloid's very underrated. He's very, very underrated. I think he's one of the most solid workers I've seen in the country. To be fair, to be brutally honest, I think he is one of the most solid workers in the country. That's going to be a really good match. We've got Dylan Roberts and Matt Fox, again, 2 brilliant lads. And I think there's a triple threat match for the Championship of Wales. Drill, Chase Alexander and Philip Michael. Again, 3 good guys. That's going to be fantastic. The Rumble match, everyone loves the Rumble. But yeah, Britannia Wrestling. I'm very, very, to be a dojo lad, to be one of the guys who have been developed through the dojo and a homegrown lad, I'm very happy where Britannia is right now. I think the dojo especially, we've got a really good group of guys, like I mentioned before. There's a lot of up-and-coming wrestlers in that group who are absolutely working their butts off, trying to get opportunities and master their craft. They're doing really well. We've got a really good training team, and we've got a really good group as well. We're having laughs. There's no toxicity. There's nothing like that. We're there for each other. It's brilliant. Britannia, I love Britannia. I always will. Obviously, over COVID, Steve Saxon, the owner, sold his business on, and the new owners, I love them. They're brilliant. I do miss working for Steve Saxon because the Alpha Gen time, I've still got the shirt. It was probably one of the most fun times I've ever had in wrestling. That's 6 months from when I got beat by Jack Griffiths in 5 seconds to winning the Alpha Gen Championship and then being cashed in on. It was just such a fun time. And I think the 2 most fun times I've ever had was the Alpha Gen era and the camps, WAW. I think they were just fantastic. But yeah, I'm very happy with Britannia. The guys that we've got on, fantastic. The last show that we had in Denby, I think it was like the Top Gun theme when I wrestled Lucy Sky in my first ever intergender match. And again, an experience that I really enjoyed. Lucy Sky, I believe, is one of the best female workers in the country. I've seen her training a lot. She's down at the North Wales Wrestling Dojo quite a lot. I've seen what she can do in training. I've seen what she can do in the ring on a show. She's impressive. She's very impressive, and she is one of the best female workers in the country and should be getting a lot more. She's doing bits, TNT, she's doing bits, but she needs to be having a lot more. Like Rev Pro, she'd be brilliant on Rev Pro. She's got that legitimate style. So the last Denby show that Britannia had was fantastic. Everybody knocked it out of the park. And now we've got a challenge with the Rumble show that we need to top. And I think we will. We've got a really good group of people who are ready to work and put on a show. But Britannia is in a very good place. The dojo and shows, it's a very, very good company to be around right now.
Are you assisting the guys that are training, obviously, that haven't had matches yet? Are you more like in a mentor role? I know, obviously, you're still young, but you've got a lot of experience, man. So yeah, the younger guys to you now that are coming through. I'm sure you're in that mentor role, aren't you, within the dojo?
So obviously, our training team, we've got 2 really good guys, Mr. No Fear Ry Lloyd and Jinner as well. Those 2 guys, they're our trainers, and they really do a great job. In terms of my role in the dojo, I'm still a trainee. That's my role, and I'm happy in that role. I enjoy training. I enjoy training with the guys. I enjoy developing my skills. I do sometimes right to me to set an example, to be fair, which is, I'm quite silly at times, so he can get a little bit annoyed at me at times, so because of my silly nature. But yeah, I'd like to think that I'm just a trainee, really. Nothing much has changed. I do like to motivate the guys because I know how well they're doing and how well they're developing for such a short time. Every now and then I do pull them to one side and I do have a chat with them just to voice my opinion on how I think they're doing. And especially in our matches as well, I really, really enjoy working every single one of our trainees because there is I've not had a bad match at training for a very long time. And the only times where bad matches do happen is we go completely on the fly and we just don't know each other's stuff. If we don't know each other's stuff, then it's not going to go very well. But I really enjoy having training matches with the guys because it's good. It's just a lot of fun to be in there with these guys and learn their stuff as well. Learn their stuff. Make sure you've got the stuff down, and then you can go in there on carnival shows or on shows, and you'll know their stuff. So yeah, it's great. My role in the North Wales Wrestling Dojo it hasn't changed, and yeah, I'm happy that it hasn't changed because I enjoy training, and I am open to helping Rye out every now and then if he needs someone to take over just for like one session or something because the trainers aren't available. I'm very open to do that, because I've done it a few times in the past as well, and it is enjoyable. I do enjoy teaching, but I enjoy wrestling more, so I enjoy doing it more. But I am always open to doing a little bit for him if the opportunity's there. But yeah, all at the moment, just training. My role hasn't changed, and I'm enjoying being in that role as well.
Old head on young shoulders, mate. I'm telling you, the way you articulate yourself. So no, it's good. It's good to hear that everything's going well at the dojo. You know, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Now, how is it performing in front of a crowd? Now, I've never wrestled. I couldn't wrestle, right? I'm just telling you now, I'm like Bambi, right? I just know it wouldn't work for me, right? But how's that for you, Doug, in terms of the crowd, the reaction of the crowd? How does that help fuel you? I love asking you guys, who are on the circuit, how that must feel, having that adulation or having the boos from the crowd.
So having the crowd at a wrestling show, let's just put it this way. If pro wrestling didn't have a crowd, pro wrestling would be very boring. The fans are a critical point in a show. And they make our jobs a whole lot better. As a heel, your job is to make the crowd absolutely despise you. And when I'm a heel, all I do is talk. I just talk as much as I can. And on the holiday camp shows, it's easier because all you have to do is just stand in front of there's a small child. Just stand in front of them and give them a nasty look, and that just transforms. Do you know what I mean? That one kid who gets a little bit scared, that transforms, and then you've got hundreds or thousands of people just screaming at you, trying to hit you. As a face, I think it's more rewarding. I think. To have the fans behind you. I think it's a lot easier to get the fans to hate you than love you. And the last Denby show for Britannia against Lucy Sky. So how it happened, Lucy Sky had an injury. It was her first match back after she'd broken her arm. So she walks out to some cheers. Lucy was the heel in that match, and she walked out to cheers. So I was like, okay, this is going to be tough. It's going to be very, very tough to try and get the fans on my side. So I thought, right, how can I get these fans behind me? My plan was to be myself, because that's what I am in the ring. I am just myself. I don't really have a character, and that's the one thing that I don't have. My wrestling ability is standard, but I just don't have the character. And a lot of people do. That's the one thing I don't have. So I just be myself out there. So when I'm a heel, I'm literally angry me, bumped up to 11. Face, happy me, bumped up to 11. So I walk out in Denby. I give them a good old, come on, Denby. And they start making a little bit of noise. And then they see the Welsh flag that's tucked into my waistband. And that's when they're like, right, okay, fair enough. And Denby, they're quite patriotic, aren't they? So I start giving all the kids high fives, standing on chairs, getting people going, trying to get the noise going. And I knew that it was going to be a tough job to get over. And I noticed when I had the crowd, it was when I hit my comeback. After I hit my comeback and I was getting the crowd going for my finisher, I couldn't hear myself talk. I couldn't hear myself talk or think because the crowd were just so loud at that point. And to get the crowd to love you as a face when you're wrestling a woman, that's quite a hefty job, if I must say. It's quite a hefty job, and it was such an incredible match. It was a one-of-a-kind experience, crowd-wise. I'm wrestling Lucy, or Bryony, as I know her, and a lot of the workers around the UK know her. It was just a one-of-a-kind experience to have a crowd like that. It was one of my favourite matches for that reason, that it was an intergender and the crowd were just so into it as well. To perform in front of a crowd as a heel, it's brilliant because if you're getting the reactions, it's fine. But as a face, I think it's more rewarding because obviously you've got your chants, you've got people cheering you on. It's just a lot more rewarding to send fans home happy as a face because you won your match.
Kept you on your toes, though, that, didn't it?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
If anything, it's all stuff that you can add to your arsenal, isn't it? You needed that experience here getting cheered. It got you thinking, didn't it? On the fly, it's happening there, and isn't it? You don't know. From your experience, I'm gauging this from what you're telling me, and that it got you thinking, didn't it, behind the curtain before coming out?
It did. It was a challenge. It was a very big challenge, and I love a challenge in wrestling, whether it is a physical challenge, having a long match, or having a match that you've never been in before and you're not too sure how to approach it. And especially in that match when Lucy went out to cheers, it does get you thinking. And I'm just very happy that I managed to make something good out of it. And hats off to Lucy as well. I do speak about this match less often than I should because it was one of my favourite matches I've ever had, because of the crowd, because of the challenge, and because of the person I was in there with as well. So it all just mashed into one perfect night for me. Yeah,
good stuff. Now, just one talent that you've seen. I'm assuming you get time to watch what's going on in the world of wrestling. One talent, because time is of the essence. One person that you're enjoying watching on the world scene at the moment. It's current. Obviously, years ago I spoke to you about this, but one person that you really gravitate to.
One person
in global wrestling terms.
So, if I'm honest, I've not watched a lot of wrestling the past few months. I really haven't watched a lot of wrestling, but for what I've seen, I'm really liking the Bloodline. Really liking the Bloodline, especially Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn at the moment is the most over wrestler in the world. He has to be because he's getting the reactions that no one else is. He's a funny guy and he can do everything. He's funny. He can do the emotional side of things as well. And like the men's War Games match, that was just a perfect example of what he can do. And I'm really liking Sami Zayn at the moment. Like I said, he can do everything. And I see Sami Zayn being like high up on the card very soon. Main event. Maybe he could be the one to take the belt off Roman. Who knows? But yeah, I'm really liking Sami Zayn. On the British scene though, it's very difficult on the British scene. But yeah. Sami Zayn, there's a lot of guys on the British scene that I enjoy. It's more of the North Wales lot. I think I'm really enjoying watching, like I said, watching the guys develop in the dojo and watching guys like Ben Evans, Ry Lloyd, Joey Marcus just smashing things out. So I really enjoy that side of thing, watching my mates succeed. But in terms of one person who I'm really enjoying watching in wrestling at the moment, Sami Zayn.
It's amazing, isn't it, how they've adapted his character over the years. Even going back to predating the Bloodline, working with Johnny Knoxville. Everything they've given that guy. You might think, oh, he's only in the mid card, but
he's touched it. So he's touched it, everything that guy touches at the moment, it turns into gold instantly. Obviously, the match with Knoxville at WrestleMania was just so mental. But it was more the promos more than anything leading up to that match that I enjoyed the most. They were fantastic. With Sammy's Intercontinental title run, that was very good as well. But the stuff that he's doing with the Bloodline is just brilliant. Like, it's just he's in the height of his career, I think. Obviously, NXT Sami Zayn was something else, but the Sami Zayn that we're seeing now, I'm saying we're seeing a Sami Zayn in his prime at this point in time. That's what I think.
Can you, at the end of the day, that's probably the hardest thing, evolving a character, changing a character, having a different, coming from that's typified that how good that guy is. I mean, when he was on Austin's podcast last year as well, man, just he knows what he's doing, and he could be a world champion. There's no question of that. It's just like some people are, he hasn't been world champion. That can still happen for the guy. And like you say, he's so over as part of the Bloodline. It's amazing. He probably, in some respects, he's superseding Roman. As much as Roman's dual champion, a lot of he's superseded everyone else within the group, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think it's just it's a very smart bit of business that they've done. The Bloodline, like I'm a huge fan of. I think Roman Reigns, how obviously WWE fans didn't really look up to Roman Reigns as much maybe 4 or 5 years ago, but they've brought him back, and he's just had an incredible run. As champion, as the tribal chief, he's just had an incredible run. I was lucky enough to get some tickets to the Clash at the Castle event at the Principality Stadium. I went with a few of the lads, Adam, Dean, Kieran, Dean's girlfriend Kezia, and Adam's boyfriend Seth. We all went together, and it was an incredible show, one of a kind. But to see Roman Reigns as the tribal chief live was just mind-boggling, goosebumps. He's had a very good role, and I cannot wait to watch him do more of his stuff. Sami Zayn as well, like I said, really fits into the group. I think he'd be, if I was to give Sami Zayn the heavyweight championship, everyone's talking about, Roman's going to drop at Mania. Roman's going to drop the belts at Mania. I'd keep the belts on Roman until Money in the Bank, and then have Sami Zayn cash in after a really hard-fought match, maybe against Brock Lesnar or someone. And then Sami Zayn comes out, cashes in, and beats him. That's how I'd do it, because Roman Reigns has been built as this huge guy who's just unstoppable. Let him have a half an hour match with Lesnar. Sami Zayn comes out, 2-3 Aluva kicks. It's over. Solo Sikoa, really big fan of Sikoa as well. He has a brilliant role, and I like how he's using the Samoan spike now. Umaga was just incredible as well. Like, just a one-of-a-kind performer. You go to a WWE event in 2008, 2009, there's 3 people you're scared of. Undertaker, the Boogeyman, and Umaga. And that's how it is. Like, I was so scared of the Boogeyman, so scared of him. I just thought that every time my door would open at night, because we had a bit of a draft in the house, it was the Boogeyman. It was awful. But Umaga was just more of a, I think his energy that he had, all of this, do you know what I mean? Like all of the Samoan stuff, it was scary. And Solo Sikoa does remind me a lot. I see a lot of Umaga in Sikoa, and the Usos. Yeah, again, I think one of the top tag teams in the world. I think they've had a fantastic run as well. They all just glue so well together, and it's just fantastic to see that they're taking this seriously, the Bloodline seriously, because it's what WWE is getting the most money for right now. The most views are because of the Bloodline.
Absolutely. And long may it continue, and maybe, just maybe, Reigns will take it past 1,000 days as his reign. Obviously, he's got both belts. I know he's had the other belt, not as long, of course, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see with Cody coming back as well, how Cody gets himself back into the mix, man, because absolutely gutted when he was out with the injury so early on. You know, he'd had a series of matches with Rollins.
Yeah, brilliant matches.
Amazing, like seeing him back. But yeah, Douggie, I want to ask you, obviously, where can the viewers and listeners find you across your social medias?
So I have a YouTube channel. If people don't know, I post matches on there every now and then. You can find me on YouTube at Douggie Mathews. Quite easy. On Instagram, you can find me on Instagram at Douggie_MPW. That's the same with Twitter as well. You can find me on Twitter at DougieMPW as well. Facebook, you can find me on Facebook at Douggie Mathews. Is there anything else? Or you can find me on any local Britannia show in the next, let's say, well, I don't know when I'm going to retire. So,
have you still got your swimming band? Have you still got your armbands?
No, I haven't got my armbands, mate.
Where's the certificate for your 10 meters that Angus bestowed?
10 meters. I don't know where they are. I know I've got them somewhere. It was funny because, like, in that whole shtick with Mad Dog Mike Angus at Britannia for the Alpha Gen era, it was a massive joke about how I couldn't swim. And by the time that was going on, I had like my 2,500 meter badge, and I was just like, if I just tell everyone that I've got a 2,500 meter badge right now, they're all just going to be like, you're ruining it. I have got, I think the only thing that I've got, like, memorabilia wise, was the cone that I split Ryloid's head open with at Wrestle Island. I'll try and find it, actually. Bear with me 1 second. I'll try and find it.
Also, Doug.
Yep.
Also, mate, we'll do a plug for BWP because it's this weekend. I've got a graphic here. I've got the poster ready, mate. So here we go. Yeah, as you can see there in the centre of us there, Royally Rumbled, Denby Town Hall. This coming Saturday, as you can see there, doors open at 6:30 at Denby Town Hall. Showtime at 7:00. It's got the big Rumble event, which you are a part of as well. So yeah, just a little quick plug for BWP. We've got to plug BWP before you go.
Yeah, it's looking to be one hell of a show. The last Denby show, we smashed it out of the park. Expect more from this one. Expect a lot more from this one. A lot more talent, a lot more guys, a lot more chaos, a lot more action. And it's going to be a fantastic night. Doors open 6:30, showtime 7:00. Buy one, get one free. I think that's adults £10, kids £7, family. I'm not sure what that is. But yeah, it's going to be a fantastic night. It's Rumble season, baby. So, get yourselves down there, enjoy the show, and have a good night.
We've had a comment here as well, mate, before you go. Linda Wheeler, love my wrestling. Been watching since I was 6-7 years old. I remember watching wrestling on black and white TV every Saturday with my dad, Uncle Harvey. Been watching ever since. Never miss a match. That's commitment. That's commitment fantastic. To the core. That is.
That's brilliant.
Watching in black and white, man.
Yeah, black and white. That's going back to potentially 60s. Potentially
easy,
60s, 70s.
Easy, no, lovely. Thanks for your comment there, Linda. So, my guest, you'll be able to see him locally at Denby Town Hall down the road for BWP, Britannia Wrestling Promotions, Royally Rumbled, big Rumble event, loads of other matches. My guest today for episode 139 of Stu's Wrestling Podcast is none other than UK independent wrestler, fellow Welshman. We've had the Welsh flag, the dragon, up there for the whole episode as well, both being Welshmen.
I've just noticed that as well.
Did you not notice it before?
I've not noticed it.
Come on, Doug. I did that especially for you.
I've been talking about wrestling. It's all right. I've been interrupted.
You're in the zone. You're in the zone, mate. Not a problem. So my guest, it is Douggie Mathews for his second appearance, and I'm sure you'll come on for a third into the future.
100%.
Thanks for coming on, man.
No problem, man.
Appreciate it. A big thank you there to Douggie Mathews. This has been episode 139. We are back for 2023, guys. A little hiatus over Christmas and what have you, but we are back. More interviews to come. Hopefully a couple more over the next month or so. And we'll see you very soon for episode 140 of Stu's Wrestling Podcast. Take care, everyone. Stay safe out there.